खत्म, बाय बाय, टाटा, गुड बाय, गया।
Now that we're off to a flying start, I'm sure all of you have an idea of the theme of the Matlab Kuch Bhi episode on this channel, where we look back at some of the most problematic, bizarre, regressive, and illogical movie sequences that you won't believe were either celebrated or the norm of commercial Indian cinema. While some of the audience members are going to call me out for being a hypocrite for calling out Indian cinema and giving a pass to several films and their problematic themes recently, I've made sure to cover all bases, and by that I mean different decades and languages in this video, so that I can save my ass from getting trolled and belittled. So here is Trident Refuse Productions with 5 shocking Indian movie scenes that will leave you speechless. And by the way, before I get into it, you guys gave me absolutely amazing recommendations when I had spoken about the famous show Barrister Babu. Please do give me a commentary on some of the films that I talk about in this video and your own video suggestions in the comments below. So let's get to it. Hasina. Smart, sexy, dangerous. You know, one of the actors from the mid-2000s that I genuinely liked simply for her acting chops was Esha Kopikar, an actor that I genuinely feel would have flourished in the current landscape and was actually just a part of some really god-awful cinema in the mid-2000s. Going down memory lane, I came across one of her films called Hasina. Smart, sexy, dangerous. And if that doesn't give you an idea of the film already, then I'll just provide you a little more insight. Esha Kopikar plays a fairly successful company owner. How did she get there is a separate argument. So when she comes across a new employee who has been hired as a public relations officer with the motive to entertain clients, this is what the boss suggests.
अगर तुम अपनी कंपनी का और अपना फायदा चाहती हो तो तुम्हें अपने आप को बदलना होगा। जी।
Just to inculcate in the minds of working women that they have to be physically attractive and suggestive in order to get the business deal done. In order to see her rise, we get a glimpse of how she won over the boss Raj Babbar, became his mistress, and has an affair with the family friend who lives in the outhouse and is a dancer, by the way. You don't believe me? Just look at the skills then. There's nothing worse than being cast as a dancer in a movie and you don't know how to dance. Much like Sonakshi Sinha comparing Ajay Devgan to Prabhu Deva in Action Jackson. This is one of those movies that is so bad that it's good. This scene is also probably reflective of when you learn one English gali in school.
मुझसे सवाल करने वाली who the hell are you, you bitch? Shut up, you bitch. Keep the phone down. Bloody bitch.
Eventually, the dancer is dating Raj Babbar's daughter and Esha Kopikar goes full Urmila Matondkar in Pyar Tune Kya Kiya mode. This movie is absolutely bonkers. Malayalam films went through a bad phase too. Before I get to really talking about this specific point, I just want to thank my Malayalam speaking followers on Instagram. You can follow me at JammyPants4 by the way. Specifically Anant, Arjun, Krishna and Abhishek who helped me with translating scenes. So at least in the last few years, my obsession with Malayalam cinema has become fairly obvious for the audience on this channel. And honestly, justifiably so. Man, they've been killing it consistently with their films, especially in the last 3 years. And there's a reason why there is such a national and global recognition that they have been showered with. But it's important that rather than coming across as a complete sucker for their films, to acknowledge that it hasn't been smooth sailing for the industry from Kerala all along. Especially the early to late 2000s in Malayalam cinema, there were quite a few underwhelming projects being produced. Something that even big stars of today confess to be a reality of that time.
Today when you say yes to a film, the be-all end-all of it is the script exciting, right? I mean, I remember back then it wasn't about the script. It was about the production company. It was about the director, right. You know. You get a script that you do not like, but if the production company is big and if the director is like a star director, the advice you got was, I mean, don't mind what's on paper, just go do it.
Upon revisiting some really popular films, you realize how the same cinema that today is so progressive, challenging and thought-provoking was also muddled in regressive and problematic themes. You look at a 1999 movie like Pattabhishekam, starring Jayaram, and it showcases a hero hiding under a bed, staring at a girl as she applies lotion on herself, only to be caught, leading to the girl shouting for help, but her mouth being muzzled by the hero's hand. Upon which he reminds her that people may believe her word in this place, but he will go out of his way to shame her in public if she says anything. He said he will spread a rumor of the princess having an affair, reminding her again that this is all a man needs in order to control a woman and put her in her place. You find a 2002 movie like Chocolate with Prithvi Raj, and when told in a girls' college not to mess with them because it will be trouble for him, he replies by saying, "Oh yeah, if I mess with you, you will only be free after 10 months, leading to several of the women giggling in the background. You look at a 2002 movie like Chaturangam with Mohanlal and Nagma, who plays a police officer and in a scene is going to put Mohanlal's friend in his place, only to be stopped and given a lecture of how none of the problems would have existed had she never worn a police uniform, like an honorable good woman would have prepared a nice Kerala meal of curry and rice and produced 6 to 8 children and stayed at home. You know, as women should." The point I'm trying to make is that a lot of the problematic themes that we usually equate to Bollywood and 90s and early 2000s cinema was also prevalent in the industries that we sing praises of today. Dilwale. Whoever follows this channel knows that I've done a PhD in cringe and 90s Bollywood cinema. A gem called Dilwale starring Sunil Shetty, Ajay Devgan and Raveena Tandon is a classic for all the wrong reasons. Upon Sunil Shetty trying to understand why Ajay Devgan is in a mental asylum, we get a flashback of the Ajay before he went batshit crazy. Like Bollywood heroes, he falls head over heels for a girl at first sight. And like vintage Bollywood fashion, as the girl is in college, she is eligible for marriage. So the family has in mind the best candidate, a pan-eating, chain-smoking Gulshan Grover. Imagine I bring up a hypothetical that a boy gets rejected if he asks a girl out, and this is his reaction. Girls in the comments tell me whether this would be a red flag.
और अगर उसको तुझसे प्यार न हुआ तो?
90s heroes were basically all Kabir Singhs only. By the way, she hasn't even made it clear on what she feels right now. Upon being eve-teased and assaulted by Grover, Devgan comes to the rescue. Did I forget to tell you that he loves Sapna? Wait, he stops to remind you every 5 seconds, by the way.
I love Sapna. I love Sapna. I love Sapna. I love her.
Oh, this doesn't end, by the way. He tells her to meet her near a cliff, asks her if she loves him. She denies all advances, and this is the only solution that the man deems fit.
मैं तुमसे प्यार नहीं करती।
तो आज इसका फैसला हो ही जाए। मैं यहाँ से बाइक लेके निकलूंगा और पीछे खाइए।
Because you know, nothing is more romantic than threatening suicide until a girl succumbs to the pressure of your advances. Oh, sorry, did I leave a cliffhanger? Here's how the scene ends.
Arun, I love you. I love you.
Hello Guru, Prema Kosame. You know, I was watching Ram Pothineni's filmography recently, and I don't know why, but his films, in the guise of comedies, always showcase some problematic social context, especially how the hero approaches the heroine. There always sticks a particular sequence that is uncomfortable to say the least. In this 2018 film, Anupama is warned by her friend that traveling alone in a train has become really unsafe. How a guy in a red check shirt was harassing her while she went to buy water, and that she should be cautious on the journey. The men overhear this, and their fickle egos are so hurt that our hero wears the said red check shirt only to do exactly what the girl feared by saying this.
अपने गांव के बारे में इतनी बड़ी बात कह दी। आज रात उसकी नींद उड़ाने से पहले हम नहीं सोएंगे।
He purposefully sits in her compartment, stretches to invade her personal space, constantly makes her uncomfortable as she tries to put her luggage, follows her to the washroom, with an open palm slowly hovers over her chest to tell a stranger the time to the horror of the girl, and finally when she tries to sleep, says this to harass her even more.
ये अब तक सोई नहीं है, लड़की ही तो है। अरे जो होगा देखा जाएगा, एक बार जोर से पकड़ ले।
And all of this is showcased in a comedic light. All of you can back this statement that this is nothing short of horrifying. Andaz. It boggles my mind on some of the cringy cinema that some of our biggest stars had to do early in their career. Andaz was an extremely popular and successful Hindi film that released in 2003. This was the time Akshay Kumar was already an established star and Priyanka Chopra and Lara Dutta were relatively new faces after their Miss World and Miss Universe stints. Upon being friend-zoned by a girl that he loved all his life, Raj meets Jia, a girl so crazy that she travels continents to stay as a paying guest in the house of the guy she fancies. In one of the instances, she identifies Raj chilling in her room. She reprimands him and he says that he didn't see anything. This, by the way, is her reply.
बोलो कि मैं तुम्हें अच्छी लगती हूँ।
लेकिन मैंने कुछ देखा ही नहीं।
नहीं देखा तो अब देख लो ना।
जी आप क्या?
Just imagine the same sequence if the roles were reversed. Would anyone find a man flashing a woman without her consent even remotely funny? When Bhabhi ji comes to the room, Priyanka Chopra deems it fit to hide Akshay Kumar under her towel because, you know, you can't hide anywhere else in the room. This is just bizarre. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below whether you have some video ideas for our channel. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.